everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Charity Lewis. This is my show, In the End. Good evening, and thank you for joining me today. Now, today, yes, I know it's amazing. I'm actually starting on time. Unbelievable. In fact, I think I started a minute earlier. Well, it just goes to show. When you put your mind to it, you can actually get places on time. Anyway, I'm not going to go on too much about all of that. Right. So, yes, tonight I am going to be looking at Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is a very well-known politician here in the UK. He used to lead the Labour Party, and he used to lead the Labour Party, and which is the party of the left. And he brought about a whole movement of Corbynistas. You know, under his leadership, the Labour Party grew quite drastically. I think he doubled the membership or something, but basically, he was very popular, very, very, very popular. His message was one of unity, uniting the working classes and social justice. However, there were a number of issues with Jeremy Corbyn. The media jumped on him having taken pictures with Palestinian rights organizations, some of which had dabbled in terrorism. And the media took those photos and took those things and ran with it. And he was branded as an anti-Semite. And let's see what else. And he had to repeatedly state that he wasn't anti-Semitic, that he had been an anti-racist all his life. Which, you know, I will not say one way or the other whether I necessarily agree with that statement. What I will say, however, and two things I will say. Under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, racism was allowed to flourish in the Labour Party. Anti-Semitic, anti-Islamic, anti-Black, it was allowed to flourish. Momentum, which was a movement, a party within the Labour Party, had a reputation for, being quite unpleasant to people on the right of the party, or people who just didn't agree with them. So, good evening, Musings by Nwanifa. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. So there was that. There were all kinds of rumours about Corbyn supporters being unpleasant, whether it being anti-Semitic, homophobic, sexist, all kinds of things, all kinds of things. And what I will say is, do I believe that Jeremy Corbyn himself was ever a racist? No, I don't. But as I say, I reiterate, racism was allowed to flourish in that party. Now, there is a difference, in my mind, there is a difference between being anti Semitic, hating Jewish people, which I just think is just ridiculous, and being critical of the Israeli government. I think that if I'm critical of the French government, it doesn't mean I hate French people, which might be surprising to some people because the English and the French don't get on. I'm playing. But seriously though, at the moment we're going through a cost of living crisis. The French are paying only 4% more for their energy and electricity. We're paying in the UK, we're paying almost 3 times as much. Or definitely more than twice as much, because I know how much my electricity bill has gone up. And we're actually subsidizing the French consumers. Does this mean I hate French people? No, I don't. Does this mean I hate the French government? Not really, although I think the president's a bit of a dick, but never mind. Let me not say that. I'll just anyway. But no, but seriously, so there is a difference in my mind between criticizing a government regime that Amnesty International has called out for being an apartheid regime. They actually got Israeli officials actually got kicked out of the African Union recently. They said that, you are representing an apartheid regime. We don't want you here. But these two things have become conflated. So criticizing a government and regime has become the same thing in the UK, and probably not just in the UK, as being racist towards a group of people. I don't know. So there's that. But as for Jeremy Corbyn as a figure, as I said, under him, racism was allowed to flourish. Do I have a problem with that? Excuse me, of course I do. But also, generally speaking, of course I do. The anti-Islamic racism was pretty awful. And yeah, I got a problem with that too. So today's reading is just based on me looking to see if he is going to run as an independent. He is incredibly popular within his constituency, in his borough. People love Jeremy Corbyn. As a constituency MP, he has been so well loved, that the likelihood is, if he stands, he will probably win. Question is, though, does he stand? Does he even want to stand as an independent? That's the question to ask. Other people from around the world are looking at the whole situation with Jeremy Corbyn, and they are a bit confused because to many of them it doesn't make sense. Case in point, Bernie Sanders said he doesn't understand why Jeremy Corbyn can't run as a Labour MP, but it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hold out my hand. I was never a Corbyn supporter. Some of his ideas I thought were good, but he himself, I was never that great of Corbyn supporter, to be honest with you. But hey, I voted for the guy twice because I voted for Labour. Yeah, it is what it is, whatever. So, in today's reading, let's have a look and see. I am using, I want to get an energy reading out of him. I want to understand what's going on with Jeremy in himself and how he feels about not only having the whip withdrawn and being ousted from the Labour Party, but how he feels that Keir Starmer was so emphatic that he will never allow him to run as a Labour MP. So I am using the Caroline Miss archetype deck to get a feeling of the energies. Okay. What are the energies around Jeremy Corbyn? Will he stand at the next general election? What is his energy all about? Will he be standing? Will he not be standing? I don't know. You tell me. Will he be standing? Let's have a look, see. Okay. Okay, that's card number one. Card number two. Yeah, card number three. Okay, so those cards I have taken. Oopsie daisy. Okay. Now, today I am going to use my Rebel Oracle deck. Where is the box? Oh, here we go. The Rebel deck. I'm going to use the Rebel deck. It always gives me some really interesting and punchy answers. And I think that this is the perfect reading for using the Rebel Oracle. Okay. Right then, please give me some cards that will correlate with the energy cards I have picked up. All right, that's one. Oh, crumbs. Well, that one jumped out. I'll just put that there. Okay. That one. That one. Okay, so these are my oracle cards there. Right, lovely, jubbly. Okay. Righty-ho, and as usual, I am using my Game of Thrones tarot. And I'm not going to spread these cards out, I'm just going to shuffle. Okay, so will Jeremy Corbyn run in the next general election? Will Jeremy Corbyn be running in the next general election? And if he runs, will he win? Okay. Will he be running in the next general election? And if he runs, will he win? I'm just shuffling until I feel I've got a card that that one. I've got the cards necessary. Yep, those two. Okay. Oops. Excuse me, I think I dropped a card. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. I think that's enough cards because that one jumped out as well. Okay, let's have a look. See, have I enough cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's see, one more card. I need one more card. 10. Oh, and there's an extra card. Okay. Right then. Might look at that one as an outcome card, actually. Okay, right. Well, let's crack on then, shall we? Righty-ho. Ooh. First card I have for the energy of Jeremy Corbyn is Judge. Yep, I would say that that was a fair assessment of him. Liked attributes: balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Shadow attributes: offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. I'd say, because I like to try to be balanced, that Jeremy Corbyn definitely reflects the light attributes of this card: balancing justice and compassion, managing fair distribution of power. Well, maybe not the fair distribution of power, but definitely justice and compassion. He's a compassionate man. Martyr. Okay, martyr. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Shadow attribute: addiction to self-pity. Well, he's definitely been a person to take up a number of causes in his political career. Is there an aspect of addiction to self-pity? I don't know about the addiction. Is there an aspect of self-pity about him? I mean, both could apply. In all fairness, both could apply. But let's continue. Trickster. Trickster. Here we go. Okay. Transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. That's the light attribute. The shadow attribute: manipulating others through duplicity. I would say transcending convention and stuffiness and predictable behavior. Jeremy Corbyn was the type of guy who didn't really like wearing a suit and tie. He didn't really. Oh, good evening, Brett. Thank you for joining me. Didn't really like wearing a suit and tie. Didn't want to bow to the Queen. He had some ideas, very much a Republican at heart. So convention was not really his thing. Definitely stood up to big business. So as a politician, that's hardly predictable behavior. Then again, considering the type of politician he was, you would expect him to stand up to big business. Manipulating others through duplicity, I don't know about that one. I don't know if that one's fair, but let's see what the cards say. Okay, over judge. I get the card. Seriously, just do it. So when it comes to his judgment, this is telling me, I believe, that he will go ahead. Under martyr, make it rain. You know, if you're going to be a martyr, you need the tears to be falling from your eyes. You know what? I feel like he's going to come out and he's going to try his best to maybe make people feel so bad. How could they do this to me? I've given everything to this party. And even if he doesn't come out and say that on camera in an interview, it's something he's probably saying behind closed doors. It's probably the kind of thing he'll say in his constituency. He'll make them feel so tearful that they'll want to vote for him. Not to say that they wouldn't want to vote for him anyway, but I feel like saying that, you know, his situation and the way everything went down, yeah, he can make it rain. And when it comes to oh crumbs, what's the word? Backing for his campaign. People will be sending money to him left, right, and center. He will make it rain. Ooh, trickster. This is interesting. Your body is pissed at you? You know what? This card says to me that the trickster, transcending convention and stuffiness and predictable behavior, manipulating others through duplicity. I think this card points towards self-betrayal. Somehow he has betrayed himself. I mean, if you stuff your body full of unhealthy food, you drink loads of alcohol, you smoke like a chimney, your body's going to be pissed at you. Your body's way of being pissed at you will probably be something like cancer, obesity. Well, maybe not the obesity stuff, but definitely the cancer and the illness. So yeah, there's a betrayal of self. That's what I want to say. There's a betrayal of self here. But anyway, let's see what the rest of the cards say. Okay, first card I have here is the 8 of Coins. I have someone working very hard in the background. Someone working hard in the background, making sure that they're working on the campaign already. They're putting everything in place. They're making sure that they have the money that they need in order to go ahead with the campaign. So all this is already, in my mind, from what I'm seeing in this card, it's already taking place. It's going ahead. They're preparing. Next card I have up here is Temperance. Temperance is generally about balancing. I would say it was about balancing the books. It was about making good decisions in regards to finance and preparation. But I know it has other meanings, so I'm just going to check. Okay, temperance. That is not temperance. Yep, go back. Temperance. Right, modulation, prudence, balanced viewpoint, not taking an extreme position, discretion, harmony, cooperation. Yeah. Okay. So he's bringing together a number of people from different spaces that he would normally bring on. Yeah, various different people from different people to the ones he would normally have handling and managing his campaign if he had still been a Labour member. But there is a reevaluation here. Old wounds heal with the passage of time. A temporary separation is possible. Well, that is interesting. A temporary separation is possible. I think that calls for another reading at another time. Because to my mind, what I'm feeling is like this temporary separation is possible. I feel like almost saying that at some point he may actually end up rejoining the Labour Party, but this is not what this reading is about. This reading is about him. Will he run as an independent? And will he win? At the base of the reading, I have the Ten of Swords. This card is all about betrayal and being stabbed in the back. To be perfectly honest, as much as I've been quite upset with Jeremy Corbyn, quite frankly. I blame him for this extreme Tory Brexit. I blame him for this extreme right-wing government that we have. It's not really a conservative government because traditionally speaking, the far right, which is who we have in power right now, do not make up the majority of their MPs. And they never really got the opportunity to be in power until now. And I blame Jeremy Corbyn for it. He's a politician who couldn't do politics. What the hell is that? But hey, I'm not here to crap all over him. I believe that he's a decent human being, but he has a responsibility for a lot of stuff. Right, Four of Swords. In the past, there was a retreat. There was a retreat from politics. After everything blew up, when he got ousted from the Labour Party with Keir Starmer, I mean, yes, he did some interviews, but not so much on mainstream television because let's face facts, They are not his friends. But he kind of retreated a bit from the political arena. So in the past, he had to retreat. Choices and decisions and getting together with people, with alliances with people, I would say, is at the crown of this reading. Choices and making alliances. Just want to double check that. I do believe that's about choices and making alliances. Definitely. Yep, yep. Because I like to be precise. Union, duality, important decisions, being put to the test. Yes, crucial life decisions, choices, deciding on what path to follow. Yes, ramifications of major decisions, being put to the test. Yes. I would also say, however, this is about union. This is about joining forces and making new alliances, which I believe I pointed to when I had the eight of coins. Oh, right. Okay, in the immediate future, he's a celebrated person riding on the horse. So in the immediate future, things are looking quite good. It's looking like victory, I would say. If he decides to run, as I said before, I do believe that it does look like he will be victorious. But this is the immediate future, and the general election will be next year, maybe even early 2025. So in the immediate future, I would say that his campaign, his fundraising for his campaign will be very successful. In his mind, this is a new start, a new start, a new birth, a new idea. Perhaps even a new party. I mean, this is a definite yes for him running as an independent, but the amount of funding he can get, I'm thinking in his mind, he might be launching a new party. Ooh, let me just double check that. Whoa. Okay. Okay, Jerry. Okay, I see you. Because let's be honest, he has not been treated very nicely by the Labour Party at all. Start of a new venture or enterprise, a turning point, fresh ideas, innovation. This is a new party. A new party in my start. Hey, backside. Let me tell you. Right, sorry. I'm sorry. Shall I translate that for you in English? In English. Okay. So, a new party. Oh my goodness. He is about to start. Okay? Everybody understand that? Banging. So, the environment, however, is one of restriction. Is one of restriction. It's one of feeling oppressed and repressed. So, although, okay, he will generate enough money to cover his campaign, no problem. He will probably generate enough money to begin a new party. But there is a restriction here. I believe the restriction will probably be from people joining his party who are not current MPs. There may well be current MPs who would like to join his party, but they didn't. There's an issue here with restriction. Okay, another aspect of this card, I would say, this 8 of coins. Another aspect of this 8 of coins is there's also a bit of a restriction on him. Now, the restriction on him is he's pretty far to the left. But how far to the left can he be before he loses support? That's the question. There'll be some kind of restriction, I would say, on the policies that he might really want to put forward, but by not be able to. Which is why, for him, in a lot of ways, it might actually just be better being an independent. But I see him wanting to start a new Labour movement or a new left movement. And he will have backing for that. But that new movement comes with the restriction as standard. Okay. Why is Rishi popping up in his concerns? Why is Rishi popping up in his concerns? So this is a hope and fear card. That's the placement of it. It's in position 8. And Rishi has popped up like a dandelion, which is great for salad, but you don't necessarily want it popping up in your garden, especially not amongst your vegetables, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm mumbling there. My apologies. So, okay. Concern. Jeremy Corbyn is the person, or is like a stick that the Conservatives love to beat Labour over the head with. Anytime they haven't got an argument for whatever it is, it could be anything from the Northern Ireland Protocol to anything to do with COVID, to anything to do with Brexit, anything to do with trade, anything to do with the war in Ukraine, anything to do with anything, it doesn't matter. Every so often, when they have no argument to make, they'll be like, yes, and you, the leader, you sat next to Jeremy Corbyn for 4 years and you supported him. And they always like to bring up his name for any reason. They don't have an answer. They can't make an argument to try to defend an undefensible position. So they bring up Jeremy Corbyn. They just bring him up as if that is the answer to everything. But he comes up here as a concern, and I get that perhaps if Jeremy launches a new party, he is concerned in some way of having to face opposition from Rishi. Why is he concerned about Rishi? I don't understand. I don't get it. Now, the thing is going through my head, is this Rishi or is this about control generally? Is this about control in general? I want to check because I don't understand why he'd be concerned about Rishi, because it's not like him and Rishi's even on the same side. They're not friends. They are opponents, and he is a stick that they love to pick up to beat Labour with. So power. He's worried about masculine power. The structures of society, order. Perhaps this isn't about Rishi. Perhaps this is about order and the structure. Perhaps this is what that's about. I mean, whether he runs as an independent or as a member of a new party, he's still going to be on the back benches. Will he be on the back benches on the Conservative? No, he can't be. You know, I don't know. That's a funny one. I'm going to have to check that. I'm going to have to get a clarifier, I think. I think I'm going to need a clarifier. Because I'm not sure. Because normally that's my Rishi card, right? And I'm not 100% sure as to whether it's coming up as Rishi Sunak or if it's coming up as a symbol of order and control and structure and power. So I'm just going to double check that. Please excuse me. Right, I'm going to cleanse my card deck with fire. I used this deck a little while ago and I didn't properly cleanse it. And I don't really want it to be in direct contact with my other cards because I want to cleanse the deck first. Okay. But yeah, I'm really a bit, perplexed by that one because that is my Rishi card. Yeah. Okay. All right, deck's cleansed. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a clarifier. Is this Rishi or is this about something else? Is this Rishi or is this about something else? Because this is a very, 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 very curious card for me to be pulling at this moment in time. Is this card? Please give me clarification on the Emperor card. Is it Rishi? Is it someone else? Who is this card in relation to? Is it Rishi? Is it someone else? Is it Rishi? Is it someone else? Is it Rishi? Is it someone else? Okay. Ah, That's better. The Emperor again. Really? 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 Yeah, that's about as useful as a chocolate teapot, mate. Thanks very much. All right. Okay. Oh, crumbs. All right. You know what? I'm tired. Let me just pick up the card 10. What's this? 9 of Spears. All right. Boundaries. All right, what's this? Juggling. Confusion. Lovers again, choices, choices, choices. Okay. I am going to say something in a minute. What that something is, when I've worked out what it is, I'll tell you. That's really confusing. Balancing. Okay. So it is Rishi, but it ain't Rishi. It is Rishi, but it ain't him. Why am I saying two things that seem to be in conflict with each other? Right, it's like the Chariot, really, the white horse and the black horse. Not that they say they conflict, but we're talking about opposing forces, the balancing of opposing forces. That's where the restriction comes in. That's also where the concern over power comes in. That's where the concern over power comes in. I would say okay. His concern is about structure. His concern is about structure and dominance. His concern is about his voice, not losing his voice in Parliament. That's one of his concerns. That's one of the things that's worrying him. There's a certain restriction here with the 8 of Swords. And I would say that restriction is about how much he can do as an independent or as somebody who started a new party. So that's where the restriction and the restriction is. The concern is balancing that power of newness, balancing his power as an independent and a backbencher with achieving his goals in a very structured organization, which is why I got the Emperor twice. It's also about him, the opposing forces of the Chariot. So trying to be the balance between two opposing forces, not to say that he would necessarily take the side of the Conservatives, but the balancing of those forces, if he's going to survive as an independent or even as a person in a new party, it's going to be vital to him to be able to do the political juggling. The political juggling. He's going to need to get really adept at that. He's never had to do that before. I think he's going to go through a period of confusion once he wins, and he will win. But I think he's going to go through a period of confusion because it's going not to be as simple and easy for him as it's been in the past to move in that sphere as an independent, or not even as an independent, because right now it's fairly simple because he doesn't have a party. But once he gets a new party, he's going to find it difficult on how to get things done, because he's never been without the party machine behind him. And even at the moment when he doesn't have the party machine behind him, he still has so many allies. Launching a new party means that you're not going to have the allies that you used to have. And in fact, Keir Starmer's made it very clear that anyone who supports him will have the whip withdrawn. So they'll be ousted from the Labour Party as well. So that's that bit there. As for the Nine of Spears, the Nine of Spears, and this is in the last position as an outcome card. Now, the Nine of Spears, the Nine of Spears, I believe, is barriers, putting up boundaries, I believe. It's boundaries. Nine of Spears is boundaries. Nine of Spears is boundaries. Yeah. Strength in reserve. Oh, standing your ground and defense. Standing up for yourself. Activating one's defense. Fortification. Boundaries. Guarding yourself. Protecting yourself. Okay, he's going to feel a very strong need to protect himself. Very strong need to protect himself. I'm going to use that as an outcome card. The outcome card is judgment. The important decisions he makes, and because it's come up twice in this reading, the important decisions that Jeremy Corbyn makes, or the next decision he makes in the next few weeks, is going to be very, very important. It's going to be a matter of discernment. He is about to make a choice in the next few weeks that he will stay with him for the rest of his life. So, from what I see in this reading, I not only see him running, but if he makes the choice to start this new political party, as I believe he will, he's going to found a new political party. And I think in his case, it will not be without success. There will be some success here. You know, I look at this Night King, and I'm not saying the Night King looks like Jeremy Corbyn. However, in this instance, I would say he raises his hands to the masses, and all of a sudden, all these people start coming up and saying, yeah, I want to join this party, and I want to join its party. If Jeremy Corbyn launches a new political party, they're going to get a lot of people who are currently Labour members or previous Labour members joining his party. This is going to be a whole new movement. A whole new movement. This is going to be a whole new movement on the UK political stage. In the past, disaffected MPs like Choko Amuna, which I know that many of you won't know who I'm talking about, they started a new party. that got nowhere. But Jeremy's a person who can start a new party and it can get somewhere. I think that he's going to start a new party and it's going to forever change the landscape of British politics. That's what I think this card signifies. I'm not going to pull an oracle as an outcome. This is the outcome card. Whew. Crumbs. Okay, let me have a look at the comments. All right. Yeah, new party for the UK. I know. New party. Yeah. Yes, musings. I know. This is wild. You know what? People are already so fed up with the Tories. Even in the blue wall, in the rural landscapes, you have farmers there. Farmers are so upset with the Tories that many of them are considering voting Labour. So this is mad. No, he could never go up against Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak has a majority in the House of Commons. They have like about 350 MPs. He's got a stupidly, ridiculously huge crumbs. What was it? Anyway, majority. Yeah, he's got a ridiculously huge majority in the Commons. So no. Whereas Labour at 200 and something, there's no way. I mean, okay, you could say Jeremy's an army of one, but no, there's no chance that he could go up against Rishi. No, that would be ridiculous. Besides, in this country, we do not really, technically speaking, we don't vote for the Prime Minister. We vote for the party. So if you don't have people standing in your local elections representing a particular party, then you're not likely to get into a position of power. Technically speaking, you could not run the country just being a party of one. So yeah, but yeah, I think I'm seeing the birth of a new movement. I'm seeing the birth of a new party. And I think this will change UK politics forever. So on that note, I will say good night to everyone. For those watching me on the replay, I will say, right. Let's see, where's the comments? Yes, I will say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. I know I didn't say that the right way around. I need my dinner. And hopefully I will catch you again on Monday. I have another video out coming on Monday. The video on Monday is going to be about a young woman called Shamima Begum, who as a 15-year-old was contacted by some people in ISIS and persuaded to leave this country and go to join them in ISIS in Syria, where she flew to Turkey with two of her school friends. They were all 15. They joined ISIS in Syria. They crossed the border and joined ISIS in Syria and went on to marry ISIS fighters. Her two friends died. She survived, had 3 children. 2 of her previous children died before she ended up in a refugee camp in was it in Syria or something, or was it in Turkey? I can't remember. Anyway, I think it's Syria. She ended up in a refugee camp in Syria or Turkey, whichever one. And when she tried to come back to the UK, her citizenship was revoked. The Home Secretary, Sajid Javid, at the time, he gave the excuse that there was intelligence information on her that meant that she was dangerous to the UK and had to be kept out of the UK. So I'm going to have a look at that reason, because a court, I think it was the ECHR, the European Court of Human Rights, ruled on her case recently, her latest effort to come back to the UK. And they said that they did not have the right to reinstate her citizenship. Only the Home Secretary could do that. So one of the things I'm going to be looking at is, will she ever return to the UK as a UK citizen? Well, I mean, will she ever be allowed re-entry to the UK? Therefore getting her UK citizenship back. That's number one. And number two, I also want to look at, is she still an intelligence risk, an intelligence threat to the people of the UK? And I am curious, will they, if she does return to the UK, will she be imprisoned? Because it is very reasonable to say that this young woman was groomed at 15 years old. I don't know about you, but as a 15-year-old, I was kind of stupid. I did some stupid shit. But hey, you know, let's find out. So that will be my show on Monday. I will put more information in the description as it relates to that case. So you can feel free to have a look at it before the show. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you for joining me tonight. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And for your own personal reading, please email me at showintheends, one word, at gmail.com. And I will be happy to give you my price list and everything there. Okay, so good night, and hopefully I'll see you again Monday. Bye. And thank you for all your kind words. Goodbye. Oh, crumbs. I'm always doing this. Why is it I can never end a broadcast? Thank you very much, Musings, for Manifa. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And yes, Brett, it is kind of deep. Okay, I'm out of here. Good night. Yeah, okay.